It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, I'm back. What's happening, everybody? Showtime. Geno Jones Showtime. So I'm here live. Normal start days and time, Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. That is a new start time, 7:30. There was no live show Monday. We had a special project that we were working on. So we got part of it because it's like a real big project related to the show. I'll give you more details as we come along. You know, there's like phases, different phases, one big plan, like part one, phase one, phase. So we got that out the way, but I'm here. So hopefully you enjoyed your favorite episode or favorite episodes, the best of the Geno Jones Show, but I'm here live. Like I said, 7:30 p.m. That is my new start time. 6:30 p.m. Hello, Chicago, everybody on Central Time from Minneapolis to Milwaukee, Chicago, of course, South Side, West Side, North Side, everybody. We don't really say East Side in Chicago. Either you South Side, West Side, or North Side, or you Southwest Side, or like we don't even say, like I said, not black folks anyway. We don't even say the East Side. Somebody say I'm from the East Side. They're not from Chicago. They were not born and raised there. But I digress. Everybody else on Central Time, from Memphis down to New Orleans, Houston, Texas, Dallas. We threw St. Louis in there. Hey, live in Las Vegas and Los Angeles. Everybody on the West Coast, 4:30 p.m. So tell everybody, spread the word, call to action. So I'm about 106 new subscribers away from becoming a YouTube partner. That means the show and my media company will get a monthly check from YouTube as we help our business grow and the show grow. So spread the word. Record a little video for me about, like a little 60-second video. Let everybody know to go to YouTube right now. I don't charge. There's no paywall to subscribe to the channel. Eventually, I'll have subscription memberships. But right now, still, you can become a member of the Geno Jones family and subscribe to my channel at no cost. But I would appreciate, and it's so important that we do support Black-owned media financially. So you can go to Zelle or Cash App and support the Geno Jones Show. You can make your financial gift or contribution. Zelle, use my email address, GenoJonesShow@gmail. That's GenoJonesShow@gmail to Zelle. If you want to Zelle, now Cash App, $ first, $Dad G Jones, $Dad G Jones, all one word. Capital D, lowercase a, lowercase d like Daddy. Capital G like Geno, capital J like Jones, lowercase o like Oprah, lowercase n like Nanette, lowercase e like extra, lowercase s like sun, like the sun and the moon and the stars. And big shout out, and I want to say thank you and welcome. The Geno Jones Show welcomes a new sponsor, Kojo LLC. Kojo, like Flojo, but Kojo. Kojo LLC. Courtney Johnson. She'll also be debuting a new segment at least twice a month, starting next Thursday. It's called Courtney's Corner. Kojo LLC. She is a real estate expert, so if you're looking to buy a home, information about real estate, also insurance. She also works for one of the largest Black-owned insurance company in America. So Courtney's Corner, brought to you by Kojo LLC, official sponsor of the Geno Jones Show. So thank you Kojo, thank you Courtney Johnson. Love to have you. And by the way, you can join the conversation going on right now. Shout out to my mom, who I know is straining her eyes. So she just had eye surgery. She got to watch her son. I'm like, mother, don't strain your eyes. Rest your eyes. It's all good. Every episode that I do live is recorded, so you can always go back and watch it. But I know I'm a parent. I get it. So, but anyway, you can join the conversation in the chat room along with my mother right now. you'll see the show is interactive like that. So when I'm on live, you can have a conversation with me. You can ask a question. If you want me to shout somebody out, I will do that also. So bring it. Come on with it. So I didn't do a show on Monday, so let me kind of go back over the weekend. Let me congratulate. A big shout out to the Cincinnati Jazz Festival. Back in the day, it was like the Cool Cigarettes. That was their big sponsor. So this big Cincinnati festival, even though it's really not a jazz, because you don't have a lot of jazz artists. But anyway, they had this big festival, some of the top R&B acts, and they've been doing it for about at least 4 decades. At least 40 years, at least. Maybe a little longer than that. Maybe closer to 50 years. And they do it in Cincinnati. Paycor Stadium is where the Cincinnati Bengals play. So the headliners this year, you had Earth, Wind & Fire. One night you had LL another night. And they had some weather issues, some storms. As a matter of fact, I think the lightning basically literally chased LL off the stage. The promoter was like, oh, they told me I got to leave the stage, but if the weather let me, I'll come back. But shout out to Earth, Wind & Fire. I heard they put on one of the greatest shows that have ever been seen, and that's saying a lot, because one of the greatest shows I've ever seen about 40 plus years ago was Earth, Wind & Fire, when Maurice White was still living, and they were literally levitating, flying in the air and disappearing. They had as a matter of fact, there was a famous musician, a famous magician. And I'm trying to remember the magician's name. Was it? I don't think it was David Blackstone, whatever it was. But one of the top magicians back in the day, I think back in maybe late 70s, early 80s. So I guess he taught them some of his magic tricks to incorporate into their live show. Earth, Wind & Fire, man, if you've never seen. But I was told, shout out to Bill Cooper, my man I've known, my longest standing best friendship outside of Damaris. He and I have been friends since 5th grade. So shout out to you, BC, Bill Cooper, who I'll get to see this weekend. He was like, man, that was one of the greatest shows I ever saw. Shout out to Earth, Wind & Fire, who, of course, Maurice White and Verdine White, West Side of Chicago, Henry Horner Projects, Crane High School, stand up, doing your thing there. So, and shout out to Toni Braxton. I heard Toni Braxton was amazing with the catalog that she's got, all those hits produced by Babyface. But they said Toni Braxton was amazing. Shout out to Jasmine Sullivan. I heard she put it down. Shout out to LL. It said he was killing it before the lightning killed the show or the storm, and said, all right, y'all time out. You got to, because they had a lot of people on the field. And one thing about when there's any kind of big outdoor event, if there's lightning in the area, you got to shut it down. You could not play with lightning. And the promoters were not going to take a chance of somebody being struck by lightning, harmed or killed. That's a major lawsuit. That's going out of business kind of lawsuit. So it didn't happen, thank goodness. But shout out to the Cincinnati. Now, I'm on the mailing list for this Cincinnati Music Festival. I think that's what they call it now. And they got a different sponsor. I forgot who is the big sponsor now. And so I'm on their mailing list, their media email list. And I get all the emails when they announce the lineup, because they'll sometime probably between November and the end of this year, they will announce the lineup, at least a partial lineup, whoever the biggest name that they're going to have, they'll announce it. So I got this email last year, probably between the beginning of November and the end of the year. Janet Jackson was supposed to be the big name for the Cincinnati Music Festival. Now, she was there, I think, 2 years ago, a couple of years ago at least. And then I got an email a couple of months later, says something happened, I think right after January, right before February, Janet was not going to be part of the Cincinnati Music Festival. Because I was going to go. I was like, okay, man, Janet's going. I know. I got it. I know, the whole thing, Kamala Harris, and her brother, Randy Jackson, her brother, I think her manager told her Kamala wasn't black, and that's okay. I know. Janet, we can talk, my sister. I love you. We can have a conversation. Randy, dude, what are you doing? Really? A trumper? Randy Jackson? How did that work out for you now, buddy? You think he like your black ass? Come on, man. Don't get me started. Don't even get me started here. So, I'd say sometime between the beginning of November of this year and the end of 2025, I'll get another email and I'll let you guys know who is going to be like the big names. It's going to be on the Cincinnati Music Festival, and it's usually like that last weekend in July. Usually go like Thursday, Friday, kind of like they kind of mimic the Essence Festival. As a matter of fact, if I'm correct, wait a minute. Actually, the Cincinnati Music Festival was here long before they started the Essence Festival. So actually, the Essence Festival probably got the idea from that big Cincinnati. Back in the day, it was called the Cincinnati Cool Jazz Festival. Frankie Beverly and Mays used to be on the show, and every year, the Whispers was there every year. Patti LaBelle would be there a lot. Then like folks like Mary J. Blige was coming. I think Anita Baker did it. I know Maxwell has done it one year. Jill Scott, I think, has done it one year. So they've had like all the big names. So we'll be interested to see who is going to be on. All right, listen. Shout out everybody watching me live. I see. So jump in my chat room. Do me a favor. Let me know who's watching. All right. Just jump in the chat room. Say, hey, Geno, this is so-and-so, and I'm watching you from wherever you may be. At home, you could be like watching me on your big TV at home, like my mother's probably watching. You could be watching me on your tablet, on your phone. You could be at your job. You got your little earbuds in, or maybe you got YouTube pulled up on your computer, watching me live. You can do that. Maybe you're waiting on your flight. You're at your gate at the airport, trying to get on a plane. Maybe you had to do some laundry. You're watching me on your phone. It doesn't matter. In the gym, on that treadmill, got your little earbuds in there, watching the show, listening to me. You getting that cardio in. Whatever you're doing, wherever you are doing it, please jump in the chat room and let me know where you're watching. And don't forget, give me that thumbs up. Give a brother that thumbs up. Let's do that. All right, so shout out to the Cincinnati Festival. Shout out, speaking of concerts, big shout out to Beyonce, her Cowboy Carter tour and concerts that I did not go to. Her them tickets was high as hell. And you know why? it was proof that these tickets were not cheap, that Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tour is the highest grossing country tour ever. Let me say that again. Beyonce Knowles Carter, Queen Bee, her Cowboy Carter tour is the highest grossing country tour ever. I'm talking about Garth Brooks, Willie Nelson, you name your favorite country, Carrie Underwood, with her little racist ass. You name your favorite country music star. When I'm thinking of country music, the biggest name I can think of is like Garth Brooks. Her tour made more money than any tour that Garth Brooks made and had. Man, Beyonce, stand up, my sister. That tour earned over $400 million, over almost $500 million. Salute to the Queen Bee. Do your thing, my sister, do your thing. Deion Sanders. Prayers up to Deion, man, but I'm happy. So apparently Deion found out earlier this year that he had bladder cancer, a pretty aggressive form. And I think he had surgery back, I think it was in May, and he definitely had surgery. I think it was May, but about a couple months ago. I can't tell you exactly, but if my memory and my notes that I don't have in front of me, my memory serves me, anyway, a couple months ago, he had his entire bladder removed, according to his doctors, that they got all the cancer. Great news, it hadn't spread, or the term is metastasized, means to spread to other organs and other parts of your body. So the great news that it hadn't spread from the bladder So they just took the whole bladder out, and Deion had a news conference on Monday talking about it. Because I saw a couple videos. I guess the one was the day he had surgery, and there was another one. It was pretty dark, and he just talked about how tough it was. That I guess it was so aggressive, and his prognosis was not real good to the point to where he was talking about it was recommended to him that he do a will, and he just talked about how tough that was. I mean, facing our own mortality has got to be tough. But shout out to Prime Time. So he is going to be back on the sidelines. We'll lift him up. He's had a lot of health challenges. He's had a couple toes amputated. He has something going on with his foot. I don't know if it was an infection. He had some circulation problems, some issue with the circulation in his feet, and he almost lost his whole foot. As a matter of fact, I think he almost lost part of his leg. It got so bad at one point. And he's had to have 2 toes amputated. So a shout out to Deion, man. We lifting you up in prayer, brother, those that believe in the power of prayer. Prime time, we gonna lift you up. Now, this foolishness with Orange Hitler, a.k.a. Donald Jackass Trump, and, Mr. Maxwell. I've talked about it a little bit. This is not, this whole, not just Ghislaine Maxwell, but Jeffrey Epstein, convicted pedophile, supposedly killed himself. They say he committed suicide in prison. I would bet money that wasn't suicide. I would bet money that somebody wanted him to never talk. So they found him dead. And there's video, I guess they had cameras that show a camera that shows in front of his cell. And so this camera that's supposed to always be on, this recording, like right in front of Jeffrey Epstein's jail cell, all of a sudden that videotape, 3 minutes is missing. Look, even Stevie Wonder could see some bullshit is going on. But now Ghislaine, her name is Ghislaine. I've heard, so many different pronunciations, but I believe Ghislaine Maxwell. She basically was the recruiter. She went out, she had this English accent. Her dad was on one of the New York newspapers back in that, I think, like 80s and 90s. Robert Maxwell is his name. I think it was the New York Daily News. One of the daily newspapers, her dad owned it. So, he was a big deal. And he was from England, but he, had bought an American paper. So she was traveling in these powerful circles. I don't know how her and Jeffrey Epstein met up, but she was like she was his recruiter. She would go out and recruit these young girls and say, oh, he's looking for a masseuse, or, we can help you become a Victoria's Secret model. And they were recruiting all these young women, many underage. As a matter of fact, all these reports that Jeffrey Epstein, his target age of choice was 14. As a matter of fact, I saw a couple of his victims that spoke to the public, because he was convicted pedophile, sex trafficker, and his girlfriend, his recruiter, Ghislaine Maxwell, is sitting in prison now for sex trafficking for 20 years. Orange Hitler's been talking about, giving her a pardon, because it was Donald Trump and all the MAGA cult members that was, release the Epstein files, and all these Democrats that are pedophiles, and blah, 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 and all these folks, Prince of England, all these powerful men that had hung out at parties, had flown to Epstein Island, which is a little island just off the coast of the Virgin Islands. Yep. But the person who has been seen more, the one person who's in more videos and pictures with Jeffrey Epstein, the one person who's in the most, that the public has seen more than any other, you name a politician or entertainer, celebrity, famous person, the number one person in photos and videos with Jeffrey Epstein, along with his girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, is Orange Hitler, Donald J. The J stands for Jackass Trump. And he was calling for, when I get elected, I'm going to release the Epstein files. And earlier this year, his attorney general, bad, bleach, blonde, bitch-ass Pam Bondi, was like, I've got the Jeffrey Epstein files on my desk. Then all of a sudden, they're not on my desk. I don't know where they are. I don't know what happened. The dog ate them. I left them in my pocket, and I put them in the washing machine, and all the ink faded. All kind of lame ass excuses. I left them outside, and they got rained on. The dog ate my homework and ate the Epstein files. Just all kind of just, I can't find them nowhere. I threw them away by accident. Nope, folks ain't happy. So this MAGA cult, they're not having it. They're like, you told us. You promised us, you told us, and we voted for you because you did all these pedophiles. We want to call them out. They need to be held accountable, and we want to release the files. There's a saying, release the hounds, release the files. Orange Hitler ran on that, and all of his MAGA cult members, it was calling for it. And Orange Hitler promised him, I'm going to release the Epstein files. And Bill Clinton's name has come up, and Bill Gates, and like I said, the Prince of England. So all these important folks. But even Pam Bondi, according to these reports, and all these FBI agents, because they had like hundreds of FBI agents go through all of these Epstein files, all these papers. And they said, Pam Bondi allegedly told Donald Trump, your name keeps coming up in the Epstein files quite a lot. Pray tell, oh my God, what do we do? Be careful what you ask for. And like I said, karma, she's a slow bitch. Oh, but she'll eventually show up for your ass. And here karma is. Karma in the form of Jeffrey Epstein from the grave, sticking his slimy, pedophile ass hand through the dirt, up, reaching to grab his boy Orange Hitler and pull his ass down. Who had Jeffrey Epstein on the bingo card that's going to take down Orange Hitler and really just cause the MAGA cult to crumble? Who saw that one? They said God works in mysterious ways. You just never know. But in the meantime, the most important thing, along with keeping in mind that all these victims of Jeffrey Epstein, all the victims of Ghislaine Maxwell, and remember, Orange Hitler himself has been accused by over 20 women of everything from sexual harassment to sexual assault. He was found liable in a civil trial because they don't have guilt or innocence, but he was found liable of sexual assault in a civil trial. E. Jean Carroll, she was a newspaper columnist, socialite in New York City in the 90s. She said that Orange Hitler raped her in this department store in the 90s. In that civil lawsuit, E. Jean Carroll, that he still owes E. Jean Carroll, I think about $90 million. The judge in that case said the evidence that he saw in court, that evidence that was presented in his court in that civil trial, to him was proof that Donald Trump raped E. Jean Carroll. That was the judge in the civil trial. But it wasn't a criminal trial, so there was no guilt or innocence, but the jury found that they found him liable of sexual assault. So say birds of a feather flock together. And birds is always in videos with young women and pictures with young women. So outside of remembering, as a matter of fact, there was one woman she wasn't so young now. I think she was in her 40s. But at the time, I think when she was first basically recruited, and then they lured her in and raped her, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, she was 14. This young lady committed suicide. So there's still a lot of survivors who are living, who were victims of this woman, this pedophile, who was raping these young girls along with her boyfriend, Jeffrey Epstein. And she was the one that was going out and recruiting them and lying to these young girls. Always looking for a masseuse. Oh, you could be a model. Come to our house. Some of the women would try to get away. I saw some of the women testifying, say that one woman said that Ghislaine Maxwell told her, don't talk. Ghislaine Maxwell told her that I'll kill you if you talk. That's what one of the victims said about Ghislaine Maxwell, who's in jail for sex trafficking. And Owen Sheila like, well, I can give her a pardon. I don't know if I will, but I could pardon her. Go ahead. I dare you. Clip this video, send it to Orange Hitler. Go ahead, Mr. Big Badass. Yeah, you sure can. According to the Constitution, which you don't give a shit about anyway, you just figure you just get away with whatever because this rigged MAGA Supreme Court is letting you do it. So go ahead and pardon. Go ahead and pardon this convicted sex trafficker. This pedophile, this rapist, convicted of sex trafficking. Go pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. Go ahead. I dare you, Donald Trump. I double dare you, Donnie John. I double dare you. Pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. See how that works out for you. Oh, you ain't seen karma yet, partner. Oh, you don't even have an idea. You think your hands, turning whiter, white because you ain't got no circulation and your ankle swelling up. Oh, you think it's bad now? Just wait. So go ahead, pardon your girl. But we need to think about those victims and support those victims. And yeah, release the files. Whoever's name is in it, the flight logs, whoever flew down to Epstein Island, hey, you did what you did. So be man enough or woman enough to own it. But let's start with you, Orange Hitler. Come on, you the head of the class. You the number one stunner. Jeffrey Epstein said you all were best friends for 15 years. And you talked about you and him were friends for 10 years. So at least 10 years, y'all was tight. Y'all was tighter than a virgin on her prom night, a wedding night. Maybe prom night, maybe. So come on, but in the meantime, my thoughts and prayers, I don't give a shit about. Yeah, release the Epstein files, but I'm not surprised. Most people already know. You've heard the names and rumors, but that name at the top of that list is the same dude that was bragging that, oh, if I become president, I'm going to release the Epstein files on day one. And yes, right, we're gonna identify all those pedophiles, those satanic Democrats, who are these pedophiles and Satan worshipers and eating children and all that old bullshit that you were saying, projecting probably a lot of what you do. Oh yeah, it's coming back to you now. But I think about those victims, and just keep in mind, this is the same man that signed legislation that's going to take away your health care, or your grandparents' health care, or your mother's health care. Medicaid. Oh, it's going to affect Medicare too, and Social Security, and those who get health insurance through Obamacare. Yes, Obamacare. And if you get food assistance, a SNAP benefits, that EBT card. And if you got children, grandchildren, nieces and nephews, they get free lunches. If they go to a public school, free lunch, free breakfast, or free breakfast and free lunches. That's going away too. Medicare, you got a parent or grandparent that their nursing home, money, over 60%, somewhere close to 70% of all the nursing homes receive their money from Medicaid. Many people on Medicaid, you have children. 40%, I think, I saw a number, 40%, I think, of all the children in America, 40% receive some form of Medicaid. Think about that. It's going to be millions of children. Asthma, juvenile diabetes, epilepsy, maybe some kind of heart condition, chronic illness, birth defect, anything. Or you got an elderly parent or grandparent that uses oxygen, that uses the wheelchair in a nursing home. That's Medicaid money. Now they try to get cute and slick with it and push it back to where it really won't hit hard until after the midterm election next year. But some of that's hitting, it's going to hit. Some of it is hitting now. You got rural hospitals. Hello, poor and working class white America, but you voted for your orange Lord and Savior because you thought he's going to get rid of them immigrants, deport them immigrants and them niggers, them N-words. I know, and the gays and lesbians and the trans women and trans people make up like 1% of the population, but yet they distracted you with that bullshit. Race and misogyny and sexism. Race is a con. It is a made-up con game. They say a construct is really a con to distract you so they can dig in your pockets and take away all of the social programs that you need, all your health benefits, all the food supplemental programs, like I said, the EBT card so you can buy groceries for you and your family every month, or maybe your elderly parents or grandparents receive SNAP benefits, you and your children, single moms, single dads, SNAP benefits, that SNAP card that Thursday, it's going to have some more money on it. Well, pretty soon you ain't going to have no money on that card the first of the month. Good luck with the food pantries, because they don't have enough food now for people to meet the demand. So, your SNAP food supplemental benefits, like I said, the free breakfast and the free lunch and breakfast programs. Out of here! Healthcare, when people start dying, nursing homes close, you don't have room to bring your elderly parents or grandparents to live with you. It's going to hit different when it hits you. When it hits your mother, when it hits your father, when it hits your grandparents, when it hits your aunt, your uncle, when it hits your child or your grandchild because they lost their health care or they got kicked out of a nursing home and you couldn't afford to take care of them and you had to watch them die. It's going to hit different. So you can, keep talking about Jeffrey Epstein. I'm gonna talk about it enough just to keep it on your radar, but I'm gonna talk more about all the health benefits, people losing their health care and their food assistance, housing assistance, housing vouchers, free breakfast, free lunches, all that stuff is gone. Pell Grants. A lot of folks thought they were going to college in about a month, in about 2 or 3 weeks. Can't go now. They didn't get those Pell Grants. Or I'm going to find some people to tell their story about how they've already been affected. Yeah, that's what we do. And that's what we're going to do. All right, thank you, everybody. The Geno Jones Show welcomes a brand new sponsor, Kojo LLC. Courtney Johnson, she's going to debut a brand new segment on the show beginning next Thursday. She'll do it like twice a month. It's called Courtney's Corner, Kojo LLC. Real estate. She's into real estate. She's got a real estate company. Also, she works at, I believe, the top black-owned insurance company in America. But she's a real estate expert. So, Courtney's Corner, she'll be addressing all kinds of issues related to, buying a home, saving for a home, how to get your credit right for a home you're going to live in, or maybe a home that you will use for income property, or whatever. All that will be discussed in Courtney's Corner beginning next Thursday. As a matter of fact, she'll give you her origin story of Kojo LLC. So shout out to Courtney Johnson. Thank you for being a sponsor, brand new sponsor here on the Geno Jones Show. Shout out to Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check him out. He is Designer Cuts, the CEO. He is a master barber's master barber, our hair expert, whatever, haircut, hair restoration. If it's hair, if the first word is hair, whatever word comes after that, he can do. All right, check him out on Instagram, on IG, KLB Cutting Up. Designer Cuts here in the Charleston, South Carolina Metro. KELBECUTTINUP on IG, Instagram. Allie Jones, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check Allie and her Lexi Jones collection out. LX.N like Nanette. C like Charlie. L like Lexi _ LX.NCL _ Bam. You got that? All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please don't forget, please leave your comments in the comments section below. And tell everybody to please leave your comments, and please like and share, screen grab this and every episode, and spread the word. Tell everybody to subscribe to my channel. All right? Do me a favor. Put a video out. Post a video out for me right now to tell everybody. It's so important that we support black-owned media, black-owned entertainment and information. I give you just, I use the entertainment and humor just to stand in the breach and stand on business, and to stand 10 toes down, stand firmly for social justice and just humanity, empathy, compassion, and decency for everybody, period, full stop. But especially for the community and for the culture. That's how we get down right here. And all the celebrity guests and all that other stuff, like I said, the humor, the funny, that's just to get you to come on in the house. Have a seat. Get comfortable. Yeah, you can even go on in the refrigerator. It's all good. Go open up the fridge. See what's in there. Go look in the microwave. Open up the oven. Look in there. See if there's something in there still staying warm. We got you. I got you. All right. We'll see you live. The next live edition is going to be on Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Remember, new start time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 4:30 p.m. live in Las Vegas, live in Los Angeles, and everybody on the West Coast from Portland, Oregon. Boogie, welcome back home. My oldest daughter, Lauren Shiana Hill Vaughn, who is nominated for an Emmy for one of her commercials she did for Nike with Wyden Kennedy. Shout out to Lauren Hill Vaughn. Daddy's Boogie. That's my Boogie, my boo-boo. Daddy loves you so much. You and Allie. Boogie and Allie. They're my girls. All right, everybody. Man, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll see you. Look, it's Must See TV, Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, the next live edition. It's going to be Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. If you missed any of this episode, now you can go back and watch this and then binge watch all my back episodes. We will see you live Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, the Geno Jones Show, brought to you by Kojo LLC.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.